Hey everybody, Mr. Bookyboo here, and today I am really excited to do more of an official review of one of my new all-time favorite Lego sets. Yeah, it's the Cantina. If you caught the live stream earlier this week, I actually kind of reviewed it live on the air, but I just wanted to take a little bit more time and do this set justice and kind of get a little bit closer to it and just talk a little bit more in detail with this set. It's truly amazing, and as an avid Star Wars fan, the nostalgia is through the roof on this set. Lego really hit it out of the park. So, without further ado, let's take a deep dive and let's take a closer look at the Mos Eisley Cantina. All right, so as you can see, this set is a pretty good sized set. Um, there is a ton of minifigures that come with it, a lot of little vehicles, accessories, and of course you have the main cantina building itself, and then you also have these two smaller little Mos Eisley buildings as well. We're going to take a closer look at all of these, but this is just kind of the wide angle shot of the whole set. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty substantial. The really cool thing about this is that the cantina is a full cantina. It's pretty much, almost full size as far as I can tell from the movies. And this is a first for Lego. They've never actually built the full cantina. They've come out with a few cantina sets over the years, but they've always been like bits and pieces of it, but never like the full cantina. So this is pretty amazing right here. So let's take a little bit closer look at the minifigures. Here's a close-up of the minifigures. As you can see, we have a lot of the old favorites. There's Han and Chewie. There's a Jawa, Obi-Wan, Greedo, some Sand Troopers. But then as we go along here, you can see there's quite a few new faces that we haven't seen before. Of course, the Imperial Spy, everyone was really excited about. First time he's been available as a minifigure. And you see a whole host of new recognizable aliens from the Cantina. Of course, you have Dr. Evasian and Ponda Baba. War the bartender back there. That's, I believe, the second version of him that we've had. And of course, R2 and 3PO. No Star Wars set is complete without them, right? And the band, which I do believe the band, their heads are slightly new printing. I think they rearranged a few things on them. So if you have some of the older ones, you can kind of mix them up and mash them up and make them look a little bit different. And we can just scroll back so you can kind of get a good view of all these awesome minifigures. So here we have the two speeders that come with the set. The one on the left has actually been done before. It was actually in the last version of the Cantina. This is just kind of like an updated or newer version of it. But the one on the right, this is the first time that Lego's ever made this speeder, and it's pretty iconic. This is one of the first speeders that you see aside from Luke's land speeder, of course, as they enter Mos Eisley. So it's a pretty iconic vehicle from Star Wars if you're a fan of the classic A New Hope, and it's pretty well executed. I think they really did a good job with this speeder. It's pretty true to the original. You can actually put two minifigures inside, one in the cockpit and one can stand back here, and they even capture the spirit of the jet, the jet engines that are repulsor lifts on the top. I think that's what those are probably. Is a really cute, really cool design. And then of course this little guy, this is Greedo's speeder, I think. And you can fit a guy inside here, and it's just a simple little design, but very effective and also very nostalgic as well. The set also comes with a Dewback and a little corral for him with he's got a bone and he's got a little bit of water inside here that he can drink. This isn't really anything terribly new, although some of the printing on the legs here, that's actually new, so it is a new design. It's ever so slightly different. I really had to stare at it for a while to figure out that it was in fact different. But this guy, so that's the Dewback. Pretty cool. And then we also have, I just want to point out real quick, the moisture evaporator. There's one here, and there's a much larger one over here. These are new designs that I haven't quite seen before. They're true to the spirit of the moisture evaporators, and they're just two entirely separate designs instead of just replicating it. So this set does a pretty good job of avoiding too much repetition. Pretty much all the steps as you build it are pretty unique and pretty different. So it's a fun it's a fun build all around. So here's a closer look at the two outbuildings that come with the set. These are just meant to represent any like your typical random Mos Eisley house. The first one on the right over here is like a little repair shop or like a junk dealer or something like that. And then the one on the left is like a little Jawa junk dealer as well. So there's they're cute little builds. They're real basic and simple. It would be pretty easy to replicate this style if you wanted to build out your Mos Eisley, if you wanted to buy multiple cantinas, or just with like light tan bricks that you might have laying around, you could easily kind of copy this style and build unique buildings. If you wanted to build a bigger scene from around the cantina, you could easily do that following this style. It's pretty cool the way they design these. This one is actually open in the back, which works well, and you can see there's quite a bit of detail inside here, and then these roofs just pop right off, so you can easily get access inside. This roof pops right off as well, and you can see there's a little bit more detail in there. And then this one actually is on a hinge, so you can actually open it like this to get inside. And again, there's just more little details. It's really well thought out. It's a nice little set. There's a little sliding door on the back that opens and closes. And just little greebles and bits and pieces just kind of complete it really nicely. So these are pretty cool little buildings. And again, they were really nice to build. Not a lot of repetition, really easy, and just fun. And then, of course, we have the cantina itself. Now, this design is really cool. As you can see, it's an enclosed building, except for the roof is it's open in the middle, which I think is pretty neat actually, because it allows you to easily see inside. Whereas if it was, plated over or covered up, you really wouldn't be able to get much of a good view inside as it's on display. And it doesn't really detract too much from it. So I actually kind of thought that was a pretty good design decision. And the really cool thing, which I'll show you in a minute, is how this thing opens up. But so you can actually play inside. It's a full-on play set inside. But the top part here just pops right off. It's not held on by anything fancy. Again, it's just a simple design. You could, if you really wanted to, you could probably plate this over and enclose it completely. I don't really see the need to do that, but you take this off and it gives you really good access inside. You don't have to open it up to play with it. You can just reach right in there. And then of course, these little panels here, these all pop off as well. So they're just held on with just a couple studs. They pop right off, so you can actually get into the booths inside here as well really easily. So you can put your minifigures inside. You can get in the back. There's where the band sits. These panels are super easy to work with and to give you really good access inside. So now let's take a look inside. So as you can see, it opens up kind of dollhouse style. There's hinges in the back around the bar area. So it basically is like a clamshell. So it opens up real easily. There's a peg right here that kind of holds it in place when it's all together. And then you can really get a good view of the booths and the detail inside there. The bar, I think, is really well done. They really did a great job making that, movie accurate. And then, of course, the entryway over here, and we'll get a little bit of a closer look in a minute. But then as I spin around here, you can see, so there's the band, and then the seats right next to the bandstand, which is in the back over there, is where Han and Greedo have their famous encounter where Han shoots first. And there's just a few other little bits and pieces as well. So let's take a closer look at all these little nooks and crannies inside here. Okay, so here we have the entrance. The door is just on a sliding mechanism right here. It just opens upwards. The actual door in the movie actually slides to the side. In the instruction book, it's really neat. They actually explain their design decisions and why they made it slide upwards instead of to the side. Basically, spoiler alert, it's a cost-saving measure, which I'm totally fine with. It's a door. It's not the end of the world. And then if you look over to the left, you can see one of the chairs. There's actually three there. They wrap around, and that's kind of like the entry, couch that you see in the cantina. Now, I wish they would have followed more of the UCS Millennium Falcon style and made it more of a one-piece thing, but that's easy to modify, and they probably just did this to save on parts. It's not a big deal. And then, of course, you can see the droid detector on the far left over there hanging up on the wall. And then, of course, the steps right here, which go down, and those steps connect up to the other side, and you can actually see the Technic pinhole where they locks it together, and so then that goes down into the actual bar area. So, you know, pretty neat design, very basic, but effective. Okay, now here you can see some of the booths on the adjacent to the entryway. So this would be like if you're looking at it from the top, kind of the left-hand side. There's a neat little corner booth here, which is a little bit bigger than the others. There's some larger chairs in there, and you can see just the little lights on the wall, bottles, cups, you know, things like that. The detail's pretty good. There's a few more chairs right here on the outside of these little coves. And then this is another seating area. They did a pretty good job making them different, so they're not exactly the same. They all kind of have their own little, you know, uniqueness to them. They're not, you know, there's like different, this one has like 2 windows, this one just has 1, and they're kind of in different places. There's different bits and pieces, so it's, each one feels unique, and it's just not a repetitive build at all. You can really see the hinges well here, so this hinges onto the bar, which I actually have swung all the way to the right now, so I could get in here to so you can kind of see the detail in these booths. And so once again, here are the booths, and here's the bonus. Here's the so now I've actually swung it back together, so this is kind of like how this half would look if you had the whole thing. Of course, this half is still open, but here you get a really good look at the bar. I really think they did a good job capturing the look and feel of it. It's pretty well detailed with lots of gold and silver, just like in the movie. I like how they really did this little back area here where there's like a little like cash register and some bottles and other assorted goods. There's some crates, drawers and those goodies, and of course there's like a little doorway right here so word can get in and out of the bar easily. Just pretty well done. You can actually fit a minifigure back here easily. You could fit a couple if Word decided to get some help, or you could actually put a droid there if you wanted to make this more like from the Mandalorian. So lots of options. Pretty well designed though, and it's nice. It's actually the full bar. The last Cantina set just had like a portion of it, so this is really nice to finally get the full bar. Okay, so here we're on the other side. You can see the edge of the bar to the left, again with the hinges, and then this little area right through that doorway. That's actually the storage area for the bar. As far as I understand, it's never been shown in any Star Wars movie, show, or any source material. So Lego had some creative license to kind of interpret what they felt that area would look like. I'll show you a closer look at that in just a minute. But moving along here, you can see this is where the band plays. And so you could easily comfortably fit 3 of them. You could probably try to fit the whole band up there if you really wanted to. It might be a little crowded, but I guess you could get creative. And then of course here's the famous booth where Han shot first. This has a neat little play feature, which is like it's really basic, but you can actually make the minifigures fly out of the chairs here like that. You can see I kind of did that totally wrong, and I can't quite reach Greedo's. So Greedo, I guess, gets to live to fight another day this time. And then again, this little corner nook here is pretty neat. It's just real basic and simple. Just a chair, one of these booth type chairs, and then just a basic chair, because the corner, as you can see here, is pretty sharp, and it's a pretty small little space compared to this corner you see over here, which actually is more squared off. So that is this half. Oh, and of course, this is the other half of the stairs. And there you can see the Technic pin, which holds everything together. So that's that half. And then I can kind of pull out. So again, you can kind of see how the whole thing opens up, which is really cool. And now I'll show you that back. So on our way to the back, because I realized I didn't show you this side of the set, there's just more really cool detail in this area. Just little crates, boxes, junk, all kinds of stuff. The really neat thing is these boxes. These are actually printed. And they're printed in Auerbach on the sides, and they have the Imperial logo. You actually get 3 of them with this set. These are probably going to be really popular. Hopefully they're available on Bricks and Pieces at some point. And then this is the back door. So this is kind of where Han and Obi-Wan and Luke escape. And then that leads to the storeroom on the back side, which you can see again, the little nook and opening is right there. And then we're going to get a closer look at that. So last but not least, we have the storeroom. It's pretty much what you'd expect. There's some brooms and bottles and assorted junk in there. There's a few crates and a few other doodads here and there. But overall, Yeah, it's a pretty neat little space. It's different, and then you can see there's like the entryway going into the cantina, and then once again the sliding door over here, which takes you out the secret back way. All right, so that pretty much is a tour of the new Mos Eisley Cantina. Um, as I mentioned previously, this is probably one of my all-time favorite Star Wars sets, maybe even Lego sets in general. It's definitely in the top three. It's right up there with the Falcon and the Death Star as far as I'm concerned. But I'm a sucker for playsets. The playsets are really cool to me. I just love, you know, they're just fun to play with, and the amount of detail that they put into them is usually pretty good. So this set is super fun to play with. My boys have been playing with it nonstop. I've been playing with it nonstop. I reenacted pretty much every scene from the movie and The Mandalorian as well in this. You know, it's just super playable. The nostalgia is through the roof on this set. They really knocked it out of the park with getting it, you know, getting all the details right and getting the layout right and just making it a really fun set. And of course, the minifigures are outstanding. They're really, really good. And there's some new ones that we haven't had before. Just everything about it I just really like. So I hope you found this useful. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have the Cantina, what you think about it, if you're going to get it. Let me know what you think, because I want to hear what you guys have to say as well. And thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to have even more videos coming out. And we're actually kicking around the ideas of maybe doing some YouTube live streaming as well. We'll be doing live streams on Instagram Tuesdays at 6 Pacific. So if you want to head over there and catch me live, you can do that. But I'm also thinking about starting to do some live stuff on YouTube. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.